Star Citizen made a huge amount of money in 2021, and there's a load amount more gameplay and accessibility to the game, but a lot of things fell by the wayside. What happened to Theatres of War? Where do we stand with Squadron 42? I thought I'd put a quick video together going over some of the most important questions, which I think are the most important questions anyway. What's coming up in January as well? What's happening in the game now? Let's jump in. What happened to Theatres of War? So Theatres of War is this objective-based Battlefield-like game mode that Cloud Imperium have been working on for a couple of years now. We've previously had tests of this game. It was unveiled at a CitizenCon where it was playable, although only on LAN, and then it's gone through Evocati testing and that sort of stuff, but Cloud Imperium had originally wanted to release it sort of like in early 2020, or at least at some point in 2020, but that has not happened. So why is that? Has it been canned? Well, no. Theatres of War is still seeing work. It hasn't gone the way of Satterball. When they were doing their private testing, there were various problems that made it not playable to a larger volume of people. They don't want this public testing yet. There are major improvements that Cloud Imperium want in-game with tech and gameplay before releasing it to the masses. They know that it will get a lot more scrutiny compared to their game to date, because it's going to be compared to games like Battlefield, polished games, finished games. We have seen Cloud Imperium have a big focus on ground and FPS gameplay recently, and we know that various server and networking improvements are coming along with things like the Gen 12 renderer as well, allowing for a more performant game hopefully, and for it to be better on a more wide range of PCs. So they're sort of doing a lot of testing in the persistent universe now, getting stuff balanced, seeing what works, and generally improving the game. Once Theatres of War is in a better state and netcode doesn't make it prohibitive to play, we will see more tests and then something released more publicly thereafter. I'm expecting to see a lot more from Theatres of War in 2022, although that said, I was expecting to see at least something in 2021. And we didn't really. Squadron 42, where do we stand? There haven't been many updates on Squadron over the last year. Cloud Imperium does give us limited updates from the roadmap and the monthly report though. However, beyond some more chapters seeing completion and a lot of NPC and AI updates, there's not too much that we know about. There's not a huge amount to go on. Is a 2022 release possible for Squadron 42 Episode 1? I mean, an end-of-year one, I suppose, is possible, but I feel like Cloud Imperium are going to want to release it the year following a CitizenCon sort of hype fest, after they unveil it and talk about it a lot. That would be my expectation, and then they'd have some more traditional advertising. They do have a big marketing department all set up now. They are sort of getting ready for Squadron 42. That's one of the reasons they're building their company up. What we do know is that Cloud Imperium are expanding their studios massively in 2022 in Q1 and Q2. Chris Roberts and other various heavy hitters from Cloud Imperium are focused on Squadron 42, and some of them are moving to the UK early 2022 to get Squadron 42 finished out. Once Squadron is closer to completion, Cloud Imperium will start talking about it and producing some videos hyping it, and sort of having a more traditional campaign of marketing. But we don't have any hard dates yet. It's done when it's done. You can expect to see more updates through the roadmap and monthly reports. I am, however, hoping that we will see more from Chris throughout 2022, and one of the other things is that we do know that Cloud Imperium's release sort of schedules and all that sort of stuff are more defined by Squadron 42 needs, and putting these features that are going to be in the persistent universe and the MMO into Squadron 42 first, and they add sort of gameplay and iterate on it, and then it be pulled into the persistent universe. And ships that are Squadron 42 focused are much more likely to get work on them, that sort of stuff, and be brought up to gold standard. So sort of keep that in mind. When is the Jumptown event on? Why isn't it on when I go online? Well, the NineTails and Jumptown events are both running on a schedule currently. I will link that schedule down below, but also check it up on the screen. You can see both of those events when they are running in the priority and or personal sections of your contracts app on the Mobiglass. There are some problems using the Caterpillar for the Jumptown event. So you're given a temporary loaner of both a Cutlass Black and a Hercules C2 if you're wondering where you've got some other random ships that you didn't expect to have. What improvements have been made to the NineTails event since its re-release? Well, the NineTails event has been tweaked a bit, and you can expect to have some much better experiences with it, where it's sort of not crashing so much or decaying so much and that sort of stuff. It's much more active. You can have a good experience with it even if you treat it as a PvE event. If no one turns up to sort of counter you, there's like the second stage of it is like you're taking out a fleet if you're doing it on the lawful side, or protecting that fleet, but taking out a fleet that has Idris and stuff like that in it. You can make a huge amount of money from medical sales at the affected station or stations, and there's huge rewards now for the PvP side at NineTails as well. So if you kill ships while supporting the NineTails side, you will be making a large amount of money for each kill. Is that enough to make that event successful? Well, I can see that it's being played a lot more, at the very least, and there's lots of videos and people talking about it, which is very good. It remains to be seen, though, and we'll have to wait and see a few more days, I suspect, and to know if it's a great success or not. Jumptown, I'm loving Jumptown 2.0. Those sort of the gameplay that you can have there, the randomness that can happen there, it's all a great laugh. It does, for me, capture what they wanted to do with Jumptown 2.0, so I think it's great, but I'm interested to know your thoughts on the NineTails Lockdown and Jumptown events in the comments below. When are CIG back from their Christmas and New Year break? Well, they should start to return to the offices January 3rd. However, expect them to sort of be gearing up for a little bit of time, and we'll probably start to see updates properly again from the 10th onwards. We will be getting a much larger monthly report in January for Squadron and the Persistent Universe, as they've sort of combined November and December's report together. What else can we expect in January then? Well, Alpha 3.16.1 is quite likely by the end of the month, and that would include things like the new derelicts to explore on planets with puzzles attached to them. So that's actually going to be pretty good. I think a lot of people are going to be going around there trying to find loot and lootable containers there and going, ooh, stuff, interesting things. Danger from trip mines, laser trip mines are going to be around those areas too, and there's going to be a whole host of fixes, improvements, balance, all that sort of jazz as well. Now, traditionally in January, Cloud Imperium do have a bit of a rescheduling, so we should see some tweaks to the roadmap, some changes there, and it be sort of updated for the next 2 quarters, maybe 3 quarters or 2.5 quarters, because we get sections of that roadmap, and then we don't know necessarily what's happening with the downstream teams, which are more responsive to what content is available for them to work on, that is directly next to them, so that they don't know exactly all the features that are going to be in a patch necessarily until it is closer to the patch's release date, but they can at least show us some of the major plans for those patches. I did see a thread asking why space bounties have been replaced by atmosphere-based bounties. So, short answer, they haven't, and they still both exist in-game. But we had Furious's response, a CIG dev, talking here, which I will read out. Hi, I work on missions, not bounties, but I know how the mission location system operates in regards to these missions. I'm pretty sure the reason that you see more bounties in atmosphere is more that the number of possible space and asteroid field locations has not changed, but now there are a load more non-space locations than the original number of asteroid and space-based locations. To explain, imagine these locations, space-based and atmosphere-based, as a possible locations pool. If there are more in atmosphere locations than in space locations, probabilities alone mean that getting an atmosphere location is much more likely than in space and at an asteroid field. Additionally, I seem to have recollection that some regions of planets and moons combinations may actually always have had less space and asteroid locations, so weighting is even less to space in some planet and moon regions than others. If you want to experiment, you could try moving to another planet or moon or whatever, taking missions that are in the vicinity of other planets and moons than those missions that you've been taking previously. So if you're experiencing, I'm only getting this type of mission or this type of bounty, move to a different planetary location and see if that changes. But space bounties are still in-game, you will still find them. You may get them less in other places and more in others, so just bear that in mind. Cloud Imperium will obviously be expanding that out somewhat. Space is very large. There is probably much more reason for bounties to be in space and at asteroid fields and at stations or whatever than there are in atmosphere, but a nice wide range of areas for bounties to occur is important, and at the moment, I think it makes sense for them to want to test atmosphere bounties more, even if it's just a higher number compared to the standard ones in space, whatever. But it's cool. I'm interested to know what you think. Have you been having loads of space bounties, loads of atmosphere bounties? Not seeing any changes. What do we have to look forward to in 2022 in regards to Star Citizen then? Well, there's quite a bit, and we'll do a dedicated video on expectations and plans, but obviously there's Star Citizen Alpha, the quarterly release updates of 3.17, 3.18, 3.19 and 3.20, but potentially more likely one of these patches will actually be called 4.0, and that start the 4.0 cycle of patches. I'm hoping that will be the Q3 patch, where we may see pyro and jump points, but it might be at the end of the year. We'll have to wait and see. But there's a huge amount of content and gameplay expected, with hacking, salvage, refueling, repairing, and a huge amount more. Lots of ships to be unveiled and released and made flyable. You'll have Fleet Week in May, CitizenCon October, most likely a physical one this year as well, the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo in November, and lots of other little mini events and things. I am looking forward to seeing the roadmap updates after some scheduling and tweaks to see what the plans are for this year and the targets. But boom! That's it for today. Me and Zin have been making some lower effort videos, quicker videos over the sort of Christmas and New Year period, mainly because we're chilling and taking some time off. But you can expect much more in-depth videos on ships, gameplay features, interviews, 3.16, the rest of the major patches, what's happening in the future, all that sort of jazz, once we've recovered from our hangovers in the next few days. Well, we have to get the hangover first and then recover from it. But thank you to everyone that supported the channel over the last year. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. I really want to know what your experiences of playing Alpha 3.16 are, and what you think of Jumptown, what you think of the NineTails lockdown, what you think of 2021, what are you looking forward to in 2022? Has Star Citizen been like, oh my god, this is awesome, I've only just recently got into it and it's amazing? Or has it been disappointing and you've been a banker for ages and you're going, oh, I want to play the game but it's taking so long? Or are you more into Squadron 42 or Theatres of War? Or something? Do you think Theatres of War is never going to see the light of day? Or you're like, no, we're going to start to see it in 2022. It's going to be reasonably good, but maybe Cloud Imperium should be focusing on other things. Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below.
Ho ho ho, I'm a fat man with a beard, and I'm going to sneak down your chimney and give you
NordVPN. That's right, I'm BoredGamer. I am that fat man with a beard. And it's Nordmus. So what do you want in your stocking for Nordmus, little Timmy? I want NordVPN, with its useful security, privacy and locational spoofing features. I also want a racing car set. Of course you do, but as I'm not sponsored by Racing Car Set, maybe you should shut your little mouth, Tim. Merry Nordmus! For December, we are giving away an Origin 400i with a Star Citizen game package and lifetime insurance. This is a luxury multi-role explorer ship for 1 to 3 players to run together. It's like a little yacht in space. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during December. If you'd like to further support the channel, please consider clicking that join button underneath my videos. You can also become a Patreon or even donate. Thank you so much for watching. Please take care, and I'll see you in the verse.